Yeah, so word on the street is my boy President Donald Trump is allegedly sending the National Guard on here into Memphis, Tennessee. It's about damn time. Y'all Memphis better not say nothing. Like I said, it's about damn time.
In today's video, the mayor of Memphis takes on an MSNBC panel and completely flips the conversation. They tried to paint Donald Trump's decision to send in the National Guard as racist and unnecessary, but the mayor didn't play along. They expected him to echo their talking points simply because he was a black mayor in a blue city. Instead, he pushed back, pointing out how the Guard could actually help the city, catching the panel off guard and leaving them clearly irritated. After that, we'll check in what Memphis residents have to say about the Guard coming into their city, as well as the wave of reaction across social media. So stay tuned.
Mayor of Memphis, Paul Young.
Mayor Young, if we can just start with some clarity. I've talked to a lot of mayors across the country. I've talked to Mario Bowser of Washington, D.C. We've spoken with Mayor Johnson. I'm wondering, all the mayors say the same thing. They say, look, we want the federal resources from the federal government, and that the federal government has cut the budgets. Do you want the National Guard in your city?
No, we definitely want a partnership with the federal government on providing the resources that we need. We have seen significant reduction in crime over the last 2 years, and we want to keep that trend going. And we feel like those resources that can be invested in things like the prevention and intervention and the groups that we have out on the streets that are working with these individuals and changing the course of their lives. That's one way. And also investing with our law enforcement partners. That's the way to really change the course of crime in our communities. But we understand that a decision has been made that the federal government and the governor want to send the National Guard, and our goal is to make sure that we have an opportunity to work with them and align what their activities look like when they come into this community.
Mr. Mayor, help me understand, because I'm a little bit confused. How long has the Republican governor of the state of Tennessee been the governor?
I think Governor Lee has been in office for about 7 years. Next year will be his last year.
7 years. Yeah. 7 years. And he's just noticing now that Memphis has a crime problem. So much so under his watch, he did nothing about it. I'm really helping me understand how, before you get to federal resources, as a former state official, statewide official, lieutenant governor of my state, I know that if there was a particular area that had to deal with crime, and certainly there were parts of Maryland that did, the first call for help was not from the federal government. It was working with the city, working with the county, working with the municipalities to create solutions in our state. And if it was beyond our capacity, sir, then maybe we would call for federal help. But so I don't understand what's different. It wouldn't have anything to do with the fact that Memphis is a largely black municipality, would it?
Yeah. So Memphis is the largest majority black city in the nation. It's something that I wear as a badge of honor, and I think it's something that we should be proud of. I will say that Governor Lee, certainly he can speak for himself, but I will say that they have been partners with the city on a number of initiatives they've supported with Tennessee Highway Patrol, helping us on our interstates, and they provide significant funding in the form of violent crime intervention funds that help with some of those intervention and prevention strategies that I talked about. I'll have to let him speak to his position on the National Guard itself, but my goal as mayor of the city is to make sure that whatever decisions that are made that are outside the control of me as mayor, that we figure out how to turn it into a win for our community, and that's my goal in this situation.
Did you catch what just happened right there? The host tried to corner the mayor by claiming that the governor wasn't involved, but the mayor pushed back immediately. He laid it out. Yes, the state has been working with Memphis. Yes, they have been involved with public safety. That completely shuts down the idea that the federal government is just swooping in to put their boot on the neck of a majority black city. And if you look closely enough at the host's face, he wasn't expecting that answer. Have you ever had a moment that changed your life? One accident, One employer who doesn't care? One hospital bill you couldn't pay? That's how quick life can change. And when it does, you realize something fast. The big companies, the insurance giants, they don't care about you. They've got teams of lawyers whose only job is to protect their bottom line. But who's protecting you? There's a reason why it feels like traffic always jams when you're running late. Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, Morgan & Morgan has fought for the people, not the powerful. With 1,000 plus attorneys and more than 100 offices nationwide, they've recovered over $25 billion for more than 500,000 clients just like you. Whether you're a 41-year-old family man in Florida, struck by a driver who ran a red light, Morgan & Morgan secured a $9.3 million verdict. Or a father and Little League coach who suffered lasting injuries in a car crash, Morgan & Morgan secured a $6.1 million verdict. When you hire them, it's like hiring a legal army that has your back. Starting a claim is simple. You can get started right now from your phone. No hassle. You can click the link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen to see if you have a claim. Their fee is free unless they win. Because when life changes in an instant, you deserve a law firm that's ready to fight for you.
Mayor, I guess I'm just wondering, what in Washington, D.C., where, the chairman and I, we live in D.C. I'm in New York right now with Ms. Menendez here. But in Washington, D.C., the National Guard is picking up trash. They are literally, ANC commissioners have sent out emails asking for suggestions from the citizens of the district about what beautification projects the National Guard can participate in. So what exactly can the Guard do for you in Memphis, Tennessee? Like, you got a trash problem? I thought some of the things that you have been working on in terms of working with the violence interrupters, talking to the gangs, those kind of things are things that I'm familiar with that you have been engaged on, that have worked to bring to try to get your arms around the issue of crime in your city. What is the National Guard going to do for you? And I'm asking in this way because I hear you saying it's your understanding they're coming, but what they gonna do when they get there?
The claim being made is that the National Guard is pointless and Washington, D.C. is being used as the example because some members are assigned to things such as beautification projects. But if you take a step back, that actually tells a different story. If the Guard has the capacity to do those tasks, it means that their presence is already working. Crime is under control enough where the local police can handle the day-to-day because the Guard serves as a deterrent. And when you're talking about cities that have been overrun and riddled with crime, even partial relief is valuable. The long-term effects, they can always be debated, but every solution has to start somewhere. What matters is that the people on the ground feel the difference. And in places that have struggled with crime, that's not a little thing.
Well, I mean, we're still working to figure that out, but I certainly have a list of things that I think they could help with. We do have issues with blight in our community, and if there's a way for them to help support our team on that front, we have a deficit of about 300 to 500 officers that we need. And while they won't be serving in a law enforcement capacity, there may be things that they can do on major events and help coordinate traffic and things like that when we have big crowds, as we get into football season with the University of Memphis or Grizzlies game. So I think that as we have conversations, we can certainly find ways to use their support to back up the efforts of our Memphis Police Department and our Shelby County Sheriff's Department.
And so she raised the question, what would the National Guard do when they arrive to the city of Memphis? And the mayor provided an answer on how he believes they can have a meaningful impact on the city. And so while the panel is busy debating whether Trump sending the National Guard is racist or unnecessary, the real question is, how do the people of Memphis feel about it? Because at the end of the day, it's the locals who must live with the crime, the fear, and the consequences. Let's hear directly from them.
Yeah, so word on the street is my boy, President Donald Trump, is allegedly sending the National Guard on here into Memphis, Tennessee. It's about damn time. Y'all Memphis better not say nothing. Like I said, it's about damn time.
Here to bring chaos, bro. It's already bullcrap here. Enough bullcrap. They're gonna bring chaos because people feel like they're being targeted at that point.
for all the crime that's going on. People using these guns all the time. Yes, it's necessary.
In order for you to have to think about crime in Memphis, you have to get to the root cause of the crime. Where there's poverty, there's going to be crime. Put more effort into trying to rebuild a community, creating jobs and stuff that, fill people's time. So put them people in that type of situation, what do you expect them to do? The police ain't fix the crime, and they paid to do it. What is the National Guard coming here going to do?
One thing Memphis has always needed in order to turn this entire city around is to get tough on crime. The moment they get tough on crime, it'll slow a lot of this shit down. Now, it won't stop crime from happening, obviously, but slowing it down a lot, I think most people in the city of Memphis would agree that they would love that more than anything. I know I would. Hell, I still remember the day of me getting my car broken into while I was at the gym.
I feel like we already have enough police task force here that should be able to nip anything that's going on in the bud or have better control of what's going on.
If they're going to be a buffer between them and the police to help minimize the crime, then that's a great thing.
From having been born and raised here, the people that live here are very, I think, self-sufficient. And I think our military and people that we have here are very capable of taking care of what's going on here in Memphis without any outside intrusion.
And it's just so dangerous that you can't get out of your car, you can't go to the grocery store, you can't go to the market or the service station. So yeah, I want to see the crime stop. And if the National Guard is going to stop the crime, bring them out.
I think it's highly unnecessary, but I mean, I don't really think it's going to stop it either, though. I'm going to just be honest. This is Memphis we talk about. I don't think he stepped foot in Memphis for real, understood what's really going on out here. It ain't nothing to get under control. It's just a city. It's the city we stay in.
Our troops need to be doing what they sign up to do, and they need to be at work or with their families. So we have seen in other cities, like in D.C., that this was a complete waste.
And so the reactions on the ground are clearly divided. Some Memphis residents see it as a necessary step, while others, they want no part of it. And the same divide is playing out online. Social media is on fire with people clashing over whether the guard is a solution or a mistake. The arguments are raw, unfiltered, and in some cases even more heated than what we heard on the ground. Let's get into some of those reactions. Jermaine Smith writes, for the tap dancing, sellout black people that are celebrating Trump announcing bringing in the National Guard to Memphis, do you know how dangerous that is for the innocent black people in Memphis? They have free reign to do what they want, and they are targeting minorities. We're going to go on with the comments, but let me just add this in for all the black people who love to use this as the excuse. If you're going to be black and use this as the excuse and use the name calling, could you at least, for the sake of black people always being called the most creative people who walk the earth, could you stop using the same rhetoric from the 1950s and 60s of being a sellout, tap dancing, all the stuff I don't want to name anymore, but we know what they are. Are there any new terms that you can come up with in order to shame people who don't think like you do? Let's continue. Chicago and Baltimore cussed dude out and showed they were willing to fight hard. Looks like this mayor is forced to roll over. He found a path of least resistance to further his dictator agenda. And Piccathlete 4464 writes, no occupation about the military of our cities. They are not law enforcement officers. It is only a band-aid at best. Same old false narrative by the Trump regime addressing the underlying problem to a crime is the solution. One of the hidden agenda is to have Trump's secret police, aka ICE, to do illegal raids. Trump is targeting cities with black majority residents, Washington, D.C., Memphis, and pending in Chicago and Maryland. V. Wood 2112 writes, this is a horrible solution. As a transplant Memphian, how about instead of sending the troops here, fix the broken system? This is a short fix and a power ploy. Waste of tax money for short-term fix. More programs, workforce, mental health / substance use assistance, etc. would be more beneficial. You can't fix year-old issues with 30 days or less. That's living in a fantasy world and abuse of power. ICE will also be making an appearance in Memphis as well. So this is a tactical ploy for his other motives on illegal immigrants / legal immigrants, as they have been already doing workplace raids here. This is truly a sad time, will only get worse. And being a native South Floridian, I can say that South Florida is just as bad with crime, etc. The only difference is the crimes are less reported in Miami or Broward County. Fix the broken system, or these issues will only get worse. KMK ATL writes, if y'all in Memphis, y'all better hide. They finna lock everybody up that look black. Kathy Genesi 2060 writes, our leaders in Memphis, Tennessee do not have a solution for these brutal crimes. The city is so out of control. I feel overwhelmed every day because of the ongoing brutal crimes. It appears that our local leaders are telling me this is my new normal and I will be okay. Mayor Young, I am not okay. I welcome our National Guard to Memphis. JG writes, they stole the police chief's gun twice, second highest murder rate in the country. I have a lot of family and friends in Memphis, and most tell me they will not go out after dark because the crime is so bad. It's been dangerous for the innocent people of Memphis for years. Let's Ask Q5150 writes, I'm a born and raised Memphian, and this shit is out of control. Here these people sit on these platforms, and they are clueless to what it really is like here. The crime is through the roof. These people have no idea. Shake my damn head. eBobby27 says, I live in Tennessee. People from Memphis constantly downplay how bad it is. I don't know if they're used to it or just ignorant, but it's a third world over there. And Not Your Effing Business says, if you're not in Memphis, you wouldn't understand. They ain't gonna stop too many lives been took to the point ain't no turning down. Them YNs then change the culture. And so, as you can see on every level, on the ground in Memphis, in the media, across social platforms, you see the same divide. Some people believe the National Guard is exactly what the city needs, while others believe it is an overreach that does more harm than good. But here's the bottom line. When crime reaches the level that Memphis has been dealing with, every option is going to spark debate. The real question isn't whether people agree, it's whether city leaders are willing to act decisively and live with the results. Anyway, guys, as always, I appreciate when you guys take the time to tune in. If you enjoy any part of the content, smash the like button. For more, subscribe to the channel. And as always, until next time.